no one here.
I'm sorry?
That's all we have. Well, Bronner, but I'm staying with the same 6D.
When you're looking to judge your players' progress, you've got two young centers in Cates and Frost that are going to get a real test tonight playing against McDavid. How confident are you that they'll be able to step up the challenge, one, and two, how do you see this as an opportunity for them to show their growth? They've gotten extended minutes throughout the season.
McDavid's a really good player. They've played against, especially Catesy, he's played against a lot of top players. So I don't even, it is what it is. They're going to play against some really good players tonight again, and it doesn't matter if it's the Edmonton team or it's going to be Nashville coming in or whatever it may be. How I match up is how I match up, and I'm going to evaluate right on through the year.
You mentioned Cates. He's played as many minutes as he's played. He's had 4 penalty minutes this season. What does it say to you about his hockey IQ, his approach to the game, and your comfort level putting him out in every situation?
Yeah, I don't relate any of that to his penalty minutes. That is what it is. He's just very intelligent as far as positioning. I think it keeps him away from chasing the game because of his positioning. Very smart as far as change-up, as far as getting off the ice, not extending his shift. One of our better players at that, as far as changing when you should change. He has that innate intelligence of all the things that's really difficult to teach players. In fact, sometimes it's impossible to teach players. What's the word I'm looking for? To be smart. I'm not sure if that's the right word. He just knows where to be. It's really hard to teach that to players, to get them to understand it consistently.
John, heading with this week, you tweaked the D pairs a bit. Now you have Sanheim with Ristolainen and you have D'Angelo with Sealer. What went into that decision, and is that a commentary or result of kind of your opinion of Tony's play over the last month or so?
No, a little bit of everything. Risto has improved. I've made no bones about it. Tony has struggled defensively a little bit here, and I think we overloaded Tony with a lot of minutes. I think we're trying to divvy up the ice time a little more cleaner as far as not being overloaded, depending on the game. We're chasing a game. We need some offense. Tony's going. But in other situations, I think the improvement of some other defensemen, and I've said it right, as hard as I was on Risto early in the year, he's our most improved player. And I think he deserves to be put in other situations, so he takes minutes from other people.
I guess kind of as a follow-up to that on Tony, when he was brought in, kind of the expectation, I think, at least on the part of the front office, but I think on your part as well, was that he was going to get a long look with Ivan Provorov on the top pair. Obviously, he's not on that top pair anymore. Has there been disappointment in terms of how he's fit on this roster?
Oh, no. There's not disappointment. We just didn't like the pair. And I think Tony has done – he makes some – he's a really good offensive player. It is our job as a coaching staff to try to help him become better defensively. We need him to become better defensively without hampering one of the biggest strengths he has for us, getting us out of our end zone, just some plays that people wouldn't even try that he succeeds at. Last team he played for, Carolina. I think they could absorb some of that with their roster as far as maybe some of his deficiencies defensively. It kind of sticks out more with us. So we're it's not so much a fit with the roster, because I think he's done some great things for us here. It's just we want to try to help him, and we feel he needs to get better defensively, and without taking away any of that great offensive ability he has. We know what Tony is. I'm a little bit not disappointed, but it's the defensive liability is something we need to work at. That I didn't think the amount of work that we need to do with him. I didn't think that at the point in time when we got him. But it is what it is. That's our job as a coaching staff. But I think he's done some terrific things for us in the other parts of the game.
You put him now with Nick Sealer. I know we don't really talk too much about Nick, but there's something to be said about the fact that, you know, when you guys were trying to work with Risto, you put Risto primarily with Sealer. Is there a thought that maybe, you know, the style that Nick plays, it can help Tony play a more simple game?
It's just it's a steady style Seals plays, and Seals is, you know, I say Risto's one of the most improved players. Seals has improved as he's played this year, as he's gone along. I think Shazi has put him in good spots to allow him to succeed. Yeah, Seals is a guy that he saves the day. He makes a lot of plays when there's some mistakes where his competitiveness and just his ability to stop plays on breakdowns saves the day. Is that the reason why Tony's there? No. We like Provy and Yorkie. We like them together. We tried Provy and Tony. At first it wasn't bad, but we just didn't like it. Risto, I didn't like at all at the beginning of the year. I wasn't sure what was going to happen there. He took off. And Sandy's a guy, quite honestly, that showed me for about a month what he is. As I always say, when you show me that amount of time that you can be that player, we need to see it more. He's another one that I think we need to get back into playing at a level he needs to be at.
John,
I'm not sure if that answers it.
with Travis Konechny, he hasn't scored a goal in his last 10 games. Is that a concern to the coaching staff? Like, are you guys looking at ways to get him going, or do you think it's just a matter of time before he gets
I think he's getting chances. It's always a concern when one of your top goal scorers on a team that, for a lot of this year, struggled to score, isn't scoring. I think for the last little while, not the last game, although we ended up with some chances, found a way to start scoring goals, and obviously he led the way there for a while. Not a concern, but certainly hoping that something good happens for him, you know, to get him going. I think he's very close. The biggest thing with TK for me is him getting in his own head. He's such a competitor and a guy that wants to help the team so badly and knows we need his scoring that he'll wrap himself up in the ball. I haven't seen it. I think he's come close to it a few times along the way, but that's just who he is. That's what I want to coach, is just continue doing some of the other things you need to do in your game until something happens for you. When he was scoring all those goals, a lot of good things were happening for him too. Some goals were going in that maybe shouldn't have gone in. It happens that way, and hopefully we start playing a really hard part of our schedule right from here to the end of the year because of the intensity of the game. Hopefully he gets on another streak for us.
One or two more?
You said on Monday that you thought your team wasn't prepared for the Islanders' checking game. With the Oilers coming off a really physical game against Detroit, how do you think they'll respond tonight?
Yeah, it's been a big part of our meetings, that's for sure. I watched part of the game the other night against Detroit. You watched a Rangers game. You can see right away where the league is going to as far as intensity. Watching some other teams play, and that isn't drawing up on a board like an X and O play. That is a mindset of readiness. This Edmonton team was on a streak going into the break to get them back in the hunt. We have a tough opponent tonight, and not a lot of X's and O's brought into our meetings prior to this game. It's more about just what you're talking about, the intensity, the checking, the battle level, and obviously you got your hands full with some pretty good players on the other team.
Last one?
Is it possible for a guy to become a better defensive player at this level? Or should he, because you mentioned that it's your job to make Tony a better defensive player.
Yeah.
Or is he at an age where this is what he is?
No, I don't think it's impossible at all. And when I say I don't want to turn him into a defensive defenseman, he'll never be that. Never has, never will, not a chance. I just want a little bit on that side of the puck, a little bit more concentration from him. And for me, the biggest thing for Tony, and it's something we worked on yesterday, is time and space. Because he has legs to get there. It's just the legs get going, gets there, but then he starts thinking about, let's get going the other way instead of finishing the job right there. We need to get him more consistently in closing plays out and maybe Seals transitions us into offense, not Tony. I think Tony sometimes wants to do so much. He wants to check and then look to get on the offense right away. And that's where you get in between on defense. We had a major problem in our first game back of just time and space. I mean, we got beat with 50-50s. We didn't close quick enough, didn't kill plays at all. That's what I want Tony to come down that intersection a little bit to commit to that without taking away the strength of his game.